and to drink their milk and to take their snack. I've seen mothers, they have to tell the kid, if you don't finish your snack, you cannot do this, and the child will be angry and crying. And I come to you from an environment where the children cry. They cry all the time because there's nothing to eat. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And I just think, God certainly bless this country and bless all of you so that you can be a source of blessings and a source of joy to other people who are less fortunate than you are. He blessed you so that you can be a source of blessings. You know, it's never going to be possible for all of us in this world to be rich. And I don't even want a world in which everybody is rich. It will be a boring world. It's not going to be possible. And it will be boring. It's not also going to be possible for all of us in this world to be poor. But it's possible, and I will always pray that it is possible that the poor and the rich can share just a little bit of our blessings, our gifts, our talents, our humanity, our poverty and our riches together. Then we can have a wonderful global community of love, a global community of justice, a global community of compassion, and a global community of hope for all of us. You know, Mother Teresa, maybe most of you would have heard of Mother Teresa of Calcutta. One time she said in one of her writings, she says, God certainly provided enough for our needs in this world, but certainly not enough for our greed. God certainly provided enough for our needs, but certainly not enough for our greed. I believe life is not about being rich or being poor. I believe life is about sharing that poverty and the riches, sharing our blessings and talents and gifts to others. You know, people ask me, when you come from such a little poor environment into huge country of abundance, how do you usually feel? How do you feel? And obviously I tell them I feel really grateful and I feel joyful. And they will say, why? And I'll say, you know, I really do thank God every day that this country was not as poor as my country. Because if this country were as poor as my country, I will never have had that little snack that came to me from this country. And if I didn't get that snack, I would never have been to school. And I will not be standing here. So I'm glad that this country was certainly not as poor as my country, that they could share their blessings with me. And that brings me this far. You know, I speak as one, but I know that there are millions and millions of faces, invisible faces behind me, whose lives have been touched and changed completely because of the goodness of this country that comes to us through this little box. They are not able to come here, but I'm here on behalf of all those invisible faces, and to say thank you to you. Thank you to your country. Thank you to your parents and all the Catholic community of this country for being so kind, being so generous. There are a lot of good things happening around the world because of the goodness of this country. But you don't get to hear those great things, those successful things that happen out of your generosity and sacrifice. And I think you need to hear more about those things. And I bring that peace of hope, and that peace of good news that you make in our lives. Thank you very much for your morning. Thank you for inviting me to this class. Thank you. Is there any time for any question?
Yes.
If anybody has a question?
You're welcome to ask.
If you have any questions about Ghana, about my life, about anything, and if you love soccer, you should know Ghana a little bit because we play a lot of soccer. In 2006 in Germany, at the World Cup, Soccer World Cup in Germany, It was Ghana that we beat you. Yeah, it was the not semi-final, quarter-finals. And Ghana and the United States met, and I think we sent you back home. But I know your women's team is becoming the world champion. You have a stronger women's soccer team in this country more than as for you play American football. And I watched that. I've watched 4 Super Bowls here, and I really admire it. But I wish I can teach some of the kids at home. It's a beautiful game, but it's risky. Yes. So if you have any question about Ghana, about Africa, about me, about CRS, any general question, feel free. Yes?
I wanted to ask how, what's the, for example, the Catholic representation in the schools? What percentage of the schools are Catholic in Ghana? Are there any universities, colleges, high schools? And because in many ways, you represent something that the Catholic response of Americans to your poverty, and hopefully, how is Ghana today also in regards to that?
Okay.
Have you seen a change, a transformation in regards to some of these social ills, social problems that you have had? You're younger than John Kennedy, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you were probably not born yet when John Kennedy was president of our country, and he created the Peace Corps.
Yes.
And I think one of the places that the first Peace Corps members went to was Ghana.
Yes, and
right?
They have a heavy presence in Ghana, and they do a lot of good work, and lots of good work in Ghana. And we love them. We hold them high. We hold them high. Because when you see the Peace Corps, I have friends, I have taught in schools with Peace Corps. The Catholic high school where I taught with a lot of Peace Corps, 3 of them. And they come to Ghana and they have to struggle with all the lacks. And yet they live so joyfully. I mean, when you come to Ghana, and like some of them came, there's no shower. And so first of all, they have to start learning how to take something and pour water on themselves to bath. That becomes a problem. There's no WC or there's no toilet, flush toilet where you can go and sit. And it's hard for them, and they have to struggle with that. There are no washing machines, laundry, so you have to use your hand to wash. And you can imagine people who have never washed things with their hands, done laundry with their hands. And so you see them doing this, and the children are, small children say, you can't wash, and they try to help them to wash. And they go through all those difficulties, and yet with so much joy, they give to us. And I came, one of them invited me to visit her in her home. And I went there, and this was a big, big home, gated and remote, opening the gate from afar, and the house was like heaven. It was like everything was there. Name it, home theater, swimming pool, big, big, big house with everything. And to leave all that and come and live so low and still be happy gives me a lot of joy and hope for all of us. The sacrifices we make for one another, it's so great. And there are a lot of Peace Corps who go through that and all that. But let me say, Ghana is a Christian country, predominantly a Christian country. They say 70% of the people, 60% is Christian. You know that it was mostly traditional, and then Christianity came. And then we have Islam. Muslims are like 15%. And then traditional people still have the rest of the percentage. But you have clearly 60% Christian, and Catholicism is certainly the biggest chunk of the Christian population in Ghana. The last president was a was a Catholic. I mean, most of them are Christians, but the last president, and he was Catholic. He was always in church every day in Accra. His wife goes for choir practice all the time, and also helpful. And all the Christian holidays, Easter, Christmas, everything, we have them and all that. The one good thing about Ghana right now is the fact of the political stability. Ghana was the first. I mean, was colonized by the British. You know, those British. They are not. But Ghana was the first African nation to gain independence from its colonial masters, with the first president being Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and was assassinated. And we don't still know who assassinated him, but he was the leader with 5 others.